Hey everybody! Alright, we're talking about failure today because failure is actually a good thing. You're probably like, what is she, crazy? Failure is a horrible thing. And knowing what I know now and knowing what I know after a long time, it's kind of crazy to think that I even thought failure was a bad thing after all this time, because we have to fail in order to succeed. I know, like super cliche, right? But it's a lot harder than it just sounds, right? Because failing sucks. Like failing makes you feel like a total loser. Failing makes you feel like you're not good enough. Failing feels like a gut punch, and it just downright sucks. The good news is that you are in control of your thoughts. Meaning you get to control you get to control how you think about failure, right? You get to control that. You are in control of what you think and what you're saying to yourself. So here's the best way I can describe this. Everyone says that hitting a softball or a baseball is one of the hardest things to do in all of sports. It's like the hardest thing to do. You have to be the most skilled to do this. So naturally, I've always just thought that hitting is hard. Pretty normal, right? Hitting is hard. Hitting is so hard. Hitting is the hardest part of the game. Hitting the ball is freaking hard. That's what I would be telling myself constantly. Like, oh, like I got out. Like, well, hitting is hard. And now I'm thinking about this and I'm like, what the heck? Like, why was I thinking hitting is hard all the time? Then it became my reality. Hitting was hard. Instead of saying to myself or thinking to myself over and over again that hitting is easy. Hitting is so easy. Hitting is the easiest part of the game. Hitting the ball is freaking easy. Why wasn't I saying that to myself rather than hitting the ball is hard, or hitting is difficult, hitting is challenging? I should be saying hitting is easy. Hitting is my thing. I can do this. And it's all about how we think about it and how we look at it. It's all about perspective and how we're looking at things like failure or hitting or whatever it is in your sport or math, right? It's how we think about it, and we get to control how we think about it. So think about this. When you were a baby, you were trying to walk for the first time, you probably fell over and over and over and over again until you actually started walking, right? But the thing is, you got back up and you tried over and over again, but you looked at failure as a way to learn. You didn't look at it as you were like this big, loser or failure, whatever it is. So the key thing here is, you guys, use failure. Use it. Use it as a tool. Use failure to learn. Use failure to improve. Use failure to succeed. Use failure to be a boss at whatever you are doing, okay? I have a visualization practice just for overcoming failure, just for seeing yourself fail and seeing how you respond to it, going through how to think about failure differently. So get your hands on that as soon as possible and start practicing visualizing yourself getting past failure, using failure as a tool, and it's free. So download it. It's in the below or in the comments or in the description. Go download that and start practicing using failure as a tool. This is going to change your game. It's going to change the way that you play, and it's going to be amazing. So use failure to learn, use failure to improve, use failure to succeed, use failure to be a boss at whatever you are doing and take control.